guys.
In the first place.
This is the stimulus bill.
Supports this. I'm sorry, the political term is duh. But the key is that the Senate, which is run by Republicans and is a place where about half, maybe more, of the rank and file Republicans in the Senate oppose giving this kind of money, particularly if it adds to the deficit. So he just got, it looks like a commitment that they were going to start the process. That means nothing.
And Dana, I'll add one other thing. Let's say, and we're not there, let's say they do get it to an actual floor vote in the Senate. Do you know how bad the politics are for that, for Republicans? It's an easy vote. You know, Democrats support it in the House, and support it. Great, we have more money. You know how hard that vote is for Republicans? Kelly Loeffler, David Perdue, who are on the verge of, you know, they're in the
Okay, he blamed the president for 5 days later, y'all. That's the main thing.
That there wasn't more in these checks is, and Jeremy made this point just
Now, is this the 600 or the 2,000? They still ain't said it yet. So I'm gonna go to Fox and see. Fox News.
Democrats wanted a 2+.
And I'm doing this for a reason.
Democrats, and again, I talk about those large vote totals in both the House and the Senate. But something that caught my eye in the statement by the president, he talks about, he said, I will ask for Congress to rescind some of the spending, what we call a rescission bill, where you go back after the fact and you take back some of that spending. Now, that may or may not happen in the new Congress that begins in January. Whether or not there will be the appetite for that under a Biden administration is unclear. So even though the president is saying, well, I don't like this spending, and I'm going to argue, pretty strenuously here for them to rescind that spending, frankly, it probably goes nowhere. The president, he's out the door here in 20 or so days, and that's it. So even though he is arguing about that, it's not going to go anywhere, John.
Right.
What do you mean?
The $2,000 checks that he has been demanding, those wouldn't be cut all at once if they get approved by the House and the Senate, right? We're talking about payments that sort of come in waves.
Well, we don't know. I mean, we just got the text of that legislation tonight, and again, we think that would pass the House of Representatives. It's contingent upon the House passing the bill, and then of course the president signing the bill, which he did tonight. But there's a lot of Republicans in the Senate who don't have the interest in really going there. Now, whether or not the president's thinking tonight influences that, and again, the Senate would have to act sometime in the next couple of days. Again, and if you make them run all the usual parliamentary hurdles, that could take days and days and days, even if you have the vote. So, the administration of this is unclear. The only thing we can go back to is what Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of the Treasury, said on Tuesday morning. This is a few hours before the president started to make rumblings about the bill that was on his desk, saying, well, we expect those checks to go out next week, meaning this coming week here. So the $2,000, but we got to see if the Senate can tackle it first. And so that's probably
MSNBC.
down the line, deeper into January.
So we now know it's $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not even advertising the breaking news. Whatever their reason is. I guess the president might have did something good. I don't know. CNN, please.
I am one of the early mugs in the Oxford.
That kind of stuff.
National University offers 100%
Okay, so
online
anyway,
programs,
but go back to Fox.
classes, so you can earn your degree on your schedule.
Oh. Fox News. Fox News.
Thing worse than a government
See, they're all over top of it.
is a government
They
shutdown.
telling us we got very little information out of CNN, and NBC ain't even airing it. So is this a good thing that the president did? My question to you, yes or no, I'll give you the last word. Project Restoration, Jeremiah 23 and Hoods.
For the federal government as well. That was really starting to weigh on a lot of people on Capitol Hill.
Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. So the president has signed the bill that has been passed by the House and the Senate. Chad, thank you very much.
Did he get something done is the
Scott in
question.
New York. I'll see you tomorrow
CNN.
morning on America's Newsroom. Now, back to life.
Rock and Roll President. Yes, Sunday at 9 on CNN.
MSBC.
Was going through a couple of
And why can't we know that this important information, which is good information, what the president
huge
did,
amounts go into specific
right now? Are they scrambling to try to figure out how to put him down? CNN did. They said 5 days. They had to get him on 5 days. And I'm like, man, come on, bro. If he signed and asked for $2,000, I got enough sense to know that ain't that's not 600, which everyone was pushing for before then. and his own people bucked him, I'm gonna give the props up on 2000, man. If they stick and they don't try to mess with it, you give up the props on what you want to do. But CNN, can I hear something on this, please, about how the president did something, you know, presidential? We got commercials. Fox News. So is it the media driving? Is this real? Fox News, Fox News, Fox News. I mean, should be breaking news, don't you think? Shouldn't this be breaking news? Fox News Live. Let's see.
I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and this is CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by TheraWorks Relief. Prevent and relieve muscle cramps.
Anyway, that's okay. CNN, see if they come back.
I have patients tell me every day that TheraWorks Relief works. Get TheraWorks Relief today.
CNN.
Everywhere.
So breaking news.
Breaking news, President Trump has finally signed the coronavirus relief package after months of battles on Capitol Hill, 5 days in limbo. He thought twice about not signing it, or maybe even vetoing it, and now help is finally on the way to millions of struggling Americans.
So wait a minute, what do you mean vetoing it? You mean the $600, lady?
Nowhere called a disgrace on Twitter. Also importantly, the bill keeps the United States government running. Funding was going to run out tomorrow, leading to a shutdown. But as it stands, the president waited until after unemployment benefits ran out for some 12 million people.
Okay, so on the negative,
leaving them extremely
because he wasn't going to sign the 600, right? If I got this right.
Who is now on the phone. Lauren, tell me what you're hearing.
I thought the argument was, from his standpoint, was $2,000. That's why he didn't sign.
Right, we're starting to get some of that reaction, Dana, and I think it's really important to know because we haven't heard anything from McConnell over the last several days as we have been in limbo. We know behind the scenes congressional leaders, Republicans were trying to get the president to sign this piece of legislation, and it was a delicate balance because in some ways the president had felt like some Republicans on Capitol Hill were moving on without him given the fact that he lost the election in November. He was very upset about that. But I want to read part of this.
Doesn't matter what his motive was.
I thought it was interesting.
I'd have kept my name too. If they could knock your face off.
But he did say, quote, the president's leadership has prevented a government shutdown at a time when our nation could not have afforded one. I'm glad that the American people will receive this much-needed assistance as our nation continues battling the pandemic.
What's wrong with that?
One juxtaposition is just the president's statement, which was very lengthy and revealed all of the things that he thought he was getting in exchange for his signature, including, he said, a vote on those $2,000 stimulus checks. We know that there will be a vote in the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives tomorrow. We expect that there will be a vote set up in the Senate. But just a reminder, Dana, as you know, there likely aren't enough votes in the U.S. Senate to actually pass $2,000 stimulus checks. This was one of the sticking points all along. A lot of Republicans didn't even support $1,200 stimulus checks.
It doesn't matter.
$1,000 stimulus checks. So promising a vote and promising an outcome are two very different things.
It looks like the Democrats trying to steal the idea now. It might have been their idea
sort of talking on Twitter about what
to give more.
in exchange for signing this piece of legislation.
But it won't be the president's fault if those other GOP members don't sign that bill. That's my point. And this CNN won't be able to blame Trump for that. That's why he did. He did keep his face. I'll give you the last word. Project Restoration, Jeremiah 23.